Welcome back to Harbour Unboxed. Ever had one of those days where you have plenty of work to do but you just can't be bothered doing any of it? Thankfully, I rarely have those days, but today is one of them. I just wasn't enjoying working on the video that I had planned for today. Just couldn't be bothered doing it. Thankfully, I have been rescued from myself. I had a knock on the door just a moment ago, and today's delivery included 3 rather large, very heavy packages, and the words EK were on them. And that's just what I have been waiting for. If you recall, this big hunk of a computer case landed on my desk back in May when we checked out Corsair's 1000D, and the plan at the time was to deck it out top to bottom with liquid cooling gear. And as you can see, that hasn't happened yet. Between now and then, I've been flat out with the day-to-day operations of the channel, events like Computex that popped up and took up a bit of our time, and then of course I have to keep Tim in line, so just all the usual stuff. So I haven't revisited the CoffeeRipper build. Yes, that's what I named it if you missed the video, because it does have a 1950X and an 8700K in there, so yeah, pretty interesting 2-in-1 system that. Anyway, timing couldn't be better on this one. As I said, I've been dragging my feet all morning. I just couldn't get into it. Couldn't bring myself to do what I was meant to be doing. But with all these liquid cooling bits rocking up, I've sort of got a bit excited to check those out. So I thought, rather than do what I meant to do today, let's open up these boxes and check out all the gear that EK has sent me, because it looks like there's a lot of gear. I think rather than pile all this onto the desk at once, we're just going to go through them one by one. So we'll start with this one here, sort of a longish, very heavy box. So there could be a few radiators in here. Fingers crossed. Let's have a look. I'm not going to do my usual silly unboxing thing where I tip things out of boxes, because all this stuff is far too heavy, expensive, and yeah, you don't really want to be banging up your new water cooling gear. So we'll be very careful with this sort of stuff. Okay, we've got a lot of fittings on top. Put them down. One of those, and one of these. All right, I don't think we'll go over all the fittings that I have here, because it looks like there's a lot of fittings. I might provide some close-up shots of said fittings, but yeah, of course I'll mix them all up here, so then I have to go searching through them all to find what I need when I go to build. Yeah, a huge assortment here of fittings. So they look quite nice, shiny, good quality fittings. Can't wait to try them out. So we have a little red box here, and this is the pump combo, the EK X-Top Revo D5 PWM pump. Have a quick look at that. This should be one of 2 pumps that'll be going in the system. Okay, so pretty pump-like. Typical sort of pump for these kind of builds, so yeah, that's going to do the job nicely. Don't think we need to go into too much more detail on that one just yet. I'll try and repackage all this stuff so it doesn't get all mixed up. Okay, well if that was the pump, this is very likely the reservoir, EK Res X3 400. So probably a 400mm long radiator will be found in here. So there we go, there is one of what I believe will probably be 2 radiators. I'm not quite sure what's been sent, but that looks really nice. And that will fit in there perfectly. So hopefully we'll have 2 of them side by side, filled with some type of liquid. I'm not sure what liquid we have, but we'll probably find out before the end of this video. So a bit of mounting gear, a couple of fittings and whatnot. And it also includes this cool little EK acrylic bit that you can put in the bottom. So if we unscrew that, that should just clip in like so. And there you go, so that should look pretty cool. Not sure if what configuration I'll go with there, but we'll find out at a later date. I'll put this back in here so we don't scuff it all up. Okay, next up, what do we have here? We got 2 of these. They are the EK Coolstream XE 480mm. So that would be a quad 120mm fan radiator. So 2 of these will be going in the front of this case. So let's have a look at one of them. We probably don't need to unbox both of them. So I'll move that one, that can stay there for now. So these are what made up the bulk of the weight of that package. They're very heavy, very thick radiators, and obviously very long. So in the package we get some Allen keys and some screws. I'm planning on getting Corsair to send over another batch of their ML series fans, and by another batch I mean another I think we're going to go with 8 or 10 of the 120mm fans and then another 3 of the 140mm fans. So yeah, a lot more fans going because we're going to have a push-pull configuration every radiator. Not sure if we can see this on camera, but they're going to go in, actually they'll probably be going in that away and like that. And then there'll be another 4 fans on the other side of the radiator sucking the air through it. And then this little hard drive enclosure thing will be removed. So yeah, cool looking radiator, very big, very heavy, and should keep my Threadripper CPU very cool. Okay, so that is box number 1 down. Let's go on to box number 2. Okay, plenty more gear in this box to go through. We have the other Reservoir, which I was expecting to get, so we have 2 of those, so that is great. That's going to look amazing in there. We have, actually, I'll just fold my knife away so I don't accidentally lose any fingers. Actually, I'll just get everything out of the box first, and we'll go over everything that we have here. The second pump, same as the first one. It'll be used in one of the loops. There's going to be 2 loops, one for one of the systems or possibly the GPUs. I haven't really worked out how I'm going to configure it, but we're going to have at least 2 graphics cards to cool and 2 CPUs. 4. So yeah, it'll be going in one of the loops. Moving right along. Ooh, okay. Got some nice stuff here. Alright. Let's start with, we'll start with the block for the 8700K build. Now, for the 8700K portion of the build, we have the EK Supremacy Evo Rgb water block. And this has RGB lighting and all kinds of nice stuff, as the name suggests. Included in the kit's a nice little tube there of thermal grizzly, so I will use that. And then underneath here we have the back plate for mounting the block, obviously. And then the block itself. So it's got an acrylic top cover, if I can get it out of the plastic. So there we go, hopefully you can see that quite well. But yeah, looks really good. It's going to look amazing lit up, though possibly won't be able to see it that well behind the graphics card, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, I'll get some good shots of it in action, so you will be able to at least see it. Yeah, I imagine that's going to look pretty cool. I'm not sure what liquid will be flowing through it, but whatever liquid will be flowing through it. I'm not sure what liquid will be flowing through it, but whatever we have, you'll definitely be able to see it, and hopefully it does the RGB effects justice. And then on the back we have a nice nickel-plated copper base. Now for the next water block for the Threadripper build, and this is a mono block, again with some RGB effects or whatever. We have the MSI X399 Carbon Pro AC, I believe it is, in there. And I won't be upgrading that board or anything like that for Threadripper 2. We'll just stick with the 1950X as the sort of show system. And this will be the water block, which goes over the giant Threadripper CPU, so we got great coverage there, and then it also covers the motherboard's VRM. So that will be oriented in that direction. Has Threadripper written up the side there, which will be RGB backlit. And yeah, I think that looks pretty awesome. The base plate on it's so large they had to use 2 please remove before use stickers. So yeah, good stuff. Looks like it'll be pretty easy to install as well. You've just got these spring-loaded screws that are already fitted to the block, so you just put that down, screw them in, and you should be away. So yeah, very keen to get that set up. It's going to look fantastic. Oh, and again, you get some thermal grizzly and all the necessary bits and bobs for screwing it down. But that is a fantastic looking mono block, that one. Then, going in the very top of the case on those 3 140mm fans, we have the EK Coolstream CE420, and that is a triple 140mm fan radiator. We'll have a quick look at that. So it's a little bit thinner than the other 2 radiators going in the front, but there you have it. So that will be going up in the top, probably around that way, but I haven't worked any of that out yet, but it'll be going up there, and then there'll be another 3 140mm fans underneath pushing air up through the radiator. That's likely how it'll be configured anyway. Again, I haven't thought all this through yet. I've only just got all the bits and pieces, as you can see, but I'd roughly worked out what I would need to do the build, or probably a bit more than roughly, but Anyway. Then for the VGA blocks, we'll start with this one because this is for Vega, and we'll be putting a Vga, I think 64 graphics card in on the Threadripper system. If I can open this, which for some reason I don't seem to be able to without tearing it apart. There we go. Did it. So we get some EK thermal paste in this one, and again all the bits and pieces you'll need. Some thermal pads which will go on things like the VRM. A modified backplate, because now it'll only be a single slot card, so you could change the backplate of the card if you wanted to. And then the star of the show, the block. So that matches the mono block for the 1950X really well on the MSI motherboard. Same sort of theme, instead of saying Threadripper though, it says Radeon, so that's nice. And again, you can see all the liquid flowing through it and everything like that, so that is going to look absolutely spectacular. That will be sort of facing that way, so you'll be able to see the Radeon part. Fortunately, you won't be able to see the front of the block, so that's a bit of a shame. But still, when we install it on the card, you'll be able to get a good look at it, and it should look pretty awesome. Then, I'm going to change up the GeForce graphics card we have here. We have the MSI Trio GTX 1080 Ti at the moment, and that card just has an incredible air cooler already on it. It's a really cool card, and I do use that for testing from time to time. So I want to be able to do that, and whatever graphics card I do put in this hard tube build won't be coming out anytime soon. So I'm just going to put one of the FE cards I have. I've got two 1080 Ti Founders Edition graphics cards. So I will be putting one of them in this build, and it will have this block go on it. And if I can get it out. So, similar sort of thing, except this is a GeForce version, and as I said, that'll be going on a Founders Edition GTX 1080 Ti, and that will be in full view. So instead of having that MSI card there, we'll have that there, and I think that's going to look pretty awesome. Pretty awesome indeed. Well, all this stuff from EK is very, very impressive. I'm running out of room to stack it. Then we have the last and biggest box of them all. So I feel like we've got pretty much everything we just about need, apart from tubes and whatnot, but I think I've got most of the key components, but maybe there's something I'm forgetting. Oh, this is still heavy as well. I'm losing you. I'm losing you. There we go. We're back. Okay. Hard tubes. A few of those. More boxes. It looks like EK has provided some fans for this build, so maybe I won't be using Corsair fans. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. Anyway, we have some coolant, which we will check out in a moment. Well, that explains why this box was so much bigger than I was expecting, because we have some fans. We have some fans. Bear with me for a moment. Oh, I can do it. I can do it. Here we go. There you go. I felt so good. Alright, so we have some PETG tubing. Hopefully that's enough. Should be enough. I'm not sure. It's probably enough. I always think I need more than I do, and then I end up with a heap left over. EK probably know what they're doing, so I'd say that's enough. As long as I don't screw anything up. They have a lot of confidence in me, but I've done a few of these builds before and it hasn't been much of a problem, so should be fine. Fingers crossed. Okay, so these are a bit of a surprise. I was not expecting them to send 1,000,001 fans. Right, so EK did not tell me, or if they did, I'm sorry, I missed it in the details. But yeah, I wasn't aware they were sending so many fans. And are they all of the 120mm variety? It's looking like it. Yep. So we have, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we have 16 120mm EK Vader Evo Rgb fans. So these look pretty awesome. Actually, I probably should take one out of the box and have a good look at it. I'll get some B-roll of them in action and put it in this video so at least you can see what they look like when they're all RGB'd up. Okay, so we've got a nice square black frame. We've got the PWM power cable and then the RGB cable. And then the fans themselves are clear, so they should provide a pretty nice effect. They're actually very similar to the Corsair ML fans that I'm currently using in the build. But yeah, anyway, I'm not sure what I will be doing there for the fan configuration. I'll have to work that out. But anyway, thank you for seeing the fans. And if I don't use them in this build, they will definitely get used in another build, so they won't be going to waste. And yeah, thank you very much. And then we have cables and connectors for days. I think this brand's Guild. I've never actually used their stuff before, I don't think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We've got a heap of cables and adapters and connectors and things that they're making in collaboration with EK for the EK gear. So I've certainly got everything I need to make this build happen. There's no excuses now, so I have got to get into this. Actually, we haven't looked at the coolant yet. So we've got Blood Red. That sounds pretty cool. It's a premix. And we've got the clear cryo fuel. So we've got 2 bottles of clear, 2 bottles of red. So that is going to go nicely. Red, clear. Not sure work out what we're going to do there. But anyway, I've got everything I need. We've got coolants, we've got tubes, we've got radiators, we've got pumps, we've got blocks, cables, connectors, fans. It's going to happen. I probably won't do the build this week coming, because we have some Threadripper 2nd gen testing to do on the channel. So I'll be pretty bogged down with that. You'll see a video on that soon though. But yeah, so plenty of things to do, but I will get to this as soon as possible. Hopefully the following week I'll be able to start. It'll probably be a 3 or 4 part series, because there's obviously a lot of building to do, and yeah, it's going to take me quite a few hours to get this thing done. I want to do it properly, and then once it's done, it will be staying here on the set for quite some time. So yeah, keen to get into that. This was just a quick unboxing video. I hope you guys don't mind. As I said, I wasn't really in the mood to get into the content I had planned, but there'll be a video tomorrow and the day after, and I'll get done what I meant to get done, so there'll be plenty of content to come. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing. You got to see all the stuff that will be going to that, because a lot of you have been asking me when I'm doing the CoffeeRipper build, what's going in there, when I'm going to make it happen, all that sort of stuff. So now you sort of have your answer. It's happening. EK have come to the rescue. They've provided all the bits and pieces I need. Now it's all on me to make it into an awesome looking build. So we will do that shortly. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, Steve. See you again next time.